Today's show is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, only the top-rated sports booking app in all of North America. I mean, it is safe, it is secure, and it is reliable. And of course, with that being the case, it is football season. So when it's football season, we come bearing gifts. And that gift is the promo code of MOATS. Why is it special? Because when you download the app, make your first initial deposit, $5 minimum, you will receive $250 in bonus bets along with 1 month free of that NFL Plus Premium. I mean, it's pretty fire fuego. You don't want to not have that. I mean, this is how you get to follow up on your squad and, have a little bit more excitement on game days. I love it. But we also know that at times, you get uncomfortable. You having too much fun. And you get lost in the sauce. Some might call it a gambling problem that might get developed. And if that is the case, for those that are living in New York, it's a certain number that you can text. But for everybody else, the digits to dial are 1-800-GAMBLER. In terms of, when I see the Chargers, think Baltimore Ravens, like kind of what I said to TG on the phone, man. Baltimore Ravens, Michigan, San Fran, back with Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick, man. They want to run the ball. They 12 personnel. They 21 personnel. They 22 personnel. Like, they legit use fullbacks. But they want to run the ball, man. Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins, those are the two backs they use, man. They obviously, got a Joe Alt, a Rashawn Slater. High pedigree tackles, man. Look good tackles, too. Talent. Think they got a good amount of talent on their team too, man. When you talking, obviously the quarterback, Herbert, Quentin Johnston, high pedigree dude, Ladd McConkey. You remember Ladd? We like Ladd. Ladd's a cool guy, man.
Yeah.
And they got playmakers on defense. Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, Bud Dupree. Shout out to Bud. Derwin James, obviously another one of those guys on the defensive side of the ball for them, man. They got some dudes, man. As a whole, though, I just feel like it's the hardball. They got the hardball identity. Like they tough guys. They want to play that smash mouth, run, fight you in a phone booth. I think the only difference between us and them is they've connected for more explosive plays that have turned into touchdowns on offense. Like they got the Quentin Johnston, couple of tutties. They have J.K. had a couple of explosives. That's been the big difference between us and them from an offensive standpoint. Outside of that, we're almost like mirror images offensively, defensively, and even record-wise.
You want to see what I have
Yeah,
written down
talk
here?
to me. Yeah, what you got?
Well, first, this is going to be an AFC North matchup, even though it's AFC North versus AFC West.
Facts.
Because of
I get what you're saying.
Similar we are as teams. So it is pretty crazy when you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Both have talented quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Both teams want to run the ball, impose their will on opposing teams. Both have rebuilt offensive lines. You talked about Slater and all with the Chargers, and we've obviously spent a lot of draft capital recently in our offensive line and signing guys in free agency. Each team has a tall, rangy receiver.
Yeah. Ooh.
A slot receiver that they just drafted in the 2024 draft.
Shout out the lad.
Now, hopefully Roman Wilson plays, but yeah, they have Ladd McConkey. We have Roman Wilson. Elite edge rushers on defense.
Identical.
Playmaker at the safety position. Us making
Minka and
Derwin James. And the whole fundamental approach on defense is play good defense and turn the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
We have 5 turnovers. They have 4. It's pretty crazy. Both are 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
Both teams won a quality game in week 1, and both
Yep.
teams won against a not-so-good team in week 2.
Yep.
And what's even crazy about the quality game that both teams won in week 1, at the time after week 1, no one thought it was necessarily quality until you saw what the Raiders and Falcons did in week 2.
Yep.
This is a good matchup.
Facts, bro. Facts. I love it. I love it, man. Switching to the weaknesses, man. Not a ton. Like I said, for me, man, I look at some of the decision making at QB. Just with Herbert, I feel like, just with those type of quarterbacks, man, the balance of putting the Superman cape on versus, man, throwing the ball away or sliding versus trying to run. Extending the play, knowing when to fold them, when to hold them. And I feel like for for Herbert at times, he's still kind of going through that. It even showed up last week in that Panthers game. One of the turnovers is literally that. It's like, man, you didn't even have to throw that ball there. You're doing great. But that's some of the stuff. But he also has the high-end talent. I would also say, man, the protection I like, but they're rookie. You know, in terms of their youth at the tackle spot, they still play really well. They're playing high-end football. But that is something that, to me, I think is going to be interesting to see how our veteran TJ Highsmith goes against the youth movement of a Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater, because I think all four of those guys I just named are really good and going to have great careers. Obviously, we know what TJ and Highsmith are doing, but at the same time, it's like, yo, you still got to go out there and show that, yeah, we the vets, y'all are rookies, and it's got to look that way.
We could say the same thing about our offensive line matchup.
Very true, man.
Guys.
Very true. We got the youth side-ish, and they're going to have the veteran type of dudes over there, man. So
we have the more disparity in that I think TJ and Highsmith are better right now than Bosa and Mack, but I think our O-linemen are more unproven, a little bit worse than Slater and Alt.
Yeah, that's definitely fair, man. That's definitely fair. Yeah. But those are some of the things, man. I also think that in terms of their run defense, I think that you can run directly at them. I think they're better when it's lateral runs, perimeter runs. I think that's when you can see a Denzel Perryman kind of show, you know, what he's better at. I think that's when you see Derwin James and, you know, company really be able to make those plays on the perimeter. But when you run directly at them, you watch Chuba Hubbard, man. He had some success on some of those A-gap, them downhill runs. That's when they was showing up against that Chargers defense. And me personally, their secondary is good, but I think that they're a lot better because of the pass rush than they actually are. And I think if you
who's going to guard Pickens?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm
Who
like
in their secondary is going to guard?
I'm like, bro, the pass rush has made that group a lot better. And yeah, I just don't.
Their
think
top
that,
three guys: Asante Samuel Jr., Christian Fulton, and Jasir Taylor.
Yeah, I'm like, the pass rush makes them way better dudes, man.
They drafted Cam Hart out of Notre Dame,
and Derwin James polices the middle, so it makes it where you got to go outside. But that's what we want to do anyways, man. So yeah, I like it, baby. I like it. What you see from him, man? Any weakness that I didn't? Unless you had something, I ain't mean to step on you.
No, I think those are all really good points. I had TJ going up against Alt. I think that's going to be interesting. I think we have the advantage there, even though Alt has looked pretty good these first 2 weeks and is extremely talented. But this is TJ Watt, the Defensive Player of the Year. I like JPJ against Quentin Johnson.
I already know.
I think JPJ is going to lock him down. You brought up McConkey. He might be the X factor for their offense.
Him versus Beanie.
I was going to say, who are we putting on him? Yeah, I mean, if that's the case right there, you would think McConkey has the advantage. He would have the advantage over either Beanie or if we threw a safety on him. Yeah. But if we threw Dante Jackson, I like that for us, but then that hurts us in run defense. If we
It would hurt us in run defense, but I will say this, we've already done that on occasion, bump Dante Jackson into the slot and put Corey Trice on the outside. So that's how we would add the extra defender.
I could live with that.
Yeah.
And
we've
Dante
been doing it.
Jackson
we've been doing a little bit of it.
has been surprisingly pretty physical.
Yeah.
These first 2 weeks. He hasn't been afraid to tackle.
I would agree.
So I'll give him credit there. But this is going to be a different beast, I think, than what we went up against last week and even the first week in Atlanta. Yeah, and we know Atlanta wanted to run the ball and everything, but this is a Jim Harbaugh.
Different style backs, too. Bajan running the ball downhill is very different than J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards.
Yeah.
I'm with you, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, just a different style there. Yeah, in terms of weaknesses or things that we can exploit, you know what? I got Muth against their linebackers. Particularly in the passing game.
Yeah.
Because they got Perryman, they got Henley.
I like that. All right, but they ain't like that.
Yeah. I don't think they should be able to cover Muth like that.
Yeah, Perryman's a good player.
So hopefully we could get him at least the amount of targets that we've been sprinkling in these first 2 weeks, but maybe some more. And then our linebackers versus their tight ends in pass coverage. I'm not worried about it at all. Patrick Queen, Peyton Wilson, even a Landon Roberts versus a Will Disley or Hayden Hurst. Yeah, those guys are there primarily for their blocking, but I don't think we got to worry about them in pass coverage.
Yeah, I'm looking all right.
So we could have them running backs. We could have them be doing some crazy stuff back there. We could have them floating around and just being athletes.
I'm with you. Like I said, I think their real test is going to be that J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards element, man. Like they got to turn that back. Big E-Rob week. Should be a big E-Rob week.
Right.
Because they're going to play base. And, that's where he's been, shining the most this year. Obviously, we know Dom Nichols sub-package ball has been more Peyton Wilson and Patrick Queen. But, yeah, those are going to be real. Another sneaky matchup I got, too, man. Just piggybacking on what you were saying before we drop our picks, and we got 5 minutes before we are joined by Keanu Benton, so don't go anywhere. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
In the chat.
Get it right, get it ready. 4:30, he's on with us. But I said Justin Herbert versus Minkah Fitzpatrick and Justin Fields versus Derwin James.
Yeah.
Because both of those safeties are top flight. Y'all know how I feel about Derwin James. You know how I feel about Minkah. But at the same time, man, we know both of these quarterbacks, high-end athletes, running ability, throwing ability. It's going to be that cat and mouse game between those guys. We have to be the ones to make, to capitalize on that Justin Herbert mistake or even force him into a mistake. And we, on the flip side, can't allow Derwin James to create that turnover, create that mistake. I remember when we played out there, we went to the game, in fact. He almost had the first pick of the game. It was like, ooh, we got up out of there, though. He dropped it. It was like, all right. And from there, we never had any other issues in terms of putting it in harm's way with him. With Justin Fields, man, same energy. Protect the football. Don't allow him to be that quote-unquote game wrecker, man, because we know what Minkah's going to do. Minkah's been balling out this year, man. So with that being the case.
You know what, though? I'm glad you mentioned the quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is one Fields is going to have to step up.
I do, too.
And match Herbert's big plays, because I think the Steelers' approach on defense and stopping the Chargers' offense is going to be stop the run.
Yeah.
So if we do that successfully, you're going to be putting the ball in Herbert's hands, and this is Justin Herbert. This dude's an elite guy, and he's going to make plays. I think you just got to live with it. My question is Fields going to be able to match some of Herbert's big plays and not turn the ball over?
Because that's going to be the test, man.
Now, Steelers' defense could obviously help Fields out and get a pick or two on Herbert, but I wouldn't be surprised if week 3 is over and Herbert doesn't have any picks and he's got a couple big plays. So we're going to need Fields to rise to the occasion here. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant, because I don't think the Chargers are going to be asking Herbert to do anything crazy either, because they are going to be trying to run the ball and everything. Even if we are stopping them, they're going to be consistent with that. But when Herbert is asked to make some plays, make some throws down the field, be Justin Herbert, it's going to happen at least a couple times. So Chargers are going to be able to extend drives and get some points off the board just off of Herbert's talent and who he is. Is Fields going to be able to do that type of stuff on the other end?
We're going to find out. We're going to find out, baby. So we got 2 minutes left, Deke. Let's drop these score predictions, man.
20-14.
Ooh.
Steelers.
Nice.
I think Fields does make some of those plays, because I got to see him last week make some of those plays. Just
let's go.
Don't get penalties on those plays this week, please.
Let's go. And
keep Fautano in at right tackle the whole time.
I like it. I got it 20-17, us as well, man. I think that we will have to score multiple touchdowns, man. But at the same time, I think the Chargers are going to be able to have some success, man. But in the end, I like Boz going away 50+ open end zone, baby. Make it, do it like I like it. You know
for
what
the
I'm
win?
saying? For the win, of course, for the win. Yeah, why not? Tied up 17-17.
Sounds about right.
Phil's game winnish drive, I don't know how much movement we get, but 50-ish down the pipe.
And a Tomlin Harbaugh game that fits.
Yeah. It ain't gonna be no 30. I don't see 30s. But I like it going away, man. 20-17. Good guys get the dub, man. All right.
You're on a batting time.
All right. Yeah, so now we got a minute to spare. Hopefully,
is he calling us?
Yes, he's calling us. We're gonna see how accurate the time. That's why I wanted to make sure we was finishing up, though, because
we're good. So I'll read some.
Now we wait.
Chat predictions here.
Y'all hit that
Warren.
like button one time for the coach, and don't forget to subscribe. If y'all digging what we doing over here. All right. We appreciate you from the heart, though.
Leah Warren's got a little bit of a. Would you say this is a shootout?
Talk to me
24-21. It's higher scoring than most are predicting.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty high for this game.
DC 53 got a 7-24 as well.
Shout out to DC 53. Let's get it.
Young Poppy Benito 1917 Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
James Wagner says Chargers 22-9. Harbaugh says Herbert is fine. Yeah, I mean,
it seemed a little
if anyone was expecting Herbert to sit out this week,
you're crazy. Absolutely, he's gonna be playing, bro.
Circus Freak says, he's got a stat for us. Herbert is 2-16 when his team scores less than 20. That's with Brandon Staley and Anthony Lynn as his coach.
Can't win one-score games, what they saying?
He's got Jim Harbaugh now.
So they be winning one-score games, what you saying?
Yeah.
Harbaugh wins a lot of one-score games.
David Dupree, 9-8 Steelers.
Ooh, okay. Field goal fest.
Eddie Sherrick, 18-10 Steelers.
I like the 18-10. I like. Let me see. Okay.
Big Mabe and Duke, 20-9 Steelers.
It sounds like everybody is rocking with Steelers,
Except
which is
for
where's
22-9
Noriega at? Where
Noriega likes Fields though.
Yeah, I know, but usually he's the one that goes against it. Usually he's the one that throws a little, throws a grenade in there and walks off.
No, I think even he admits the vibes are high here in Pittsburgh.
Respect.
The squad's pretty legit.
Respect. I would agree.
NMO Finesse, 410, 21-7 Steelers. Circus Freak. Didn't I say Circus Freak? Oh, yeah, no. He gave the little stat. Herbert,
that's what it
2-16.
was.
Yeah. Circus Freak's got it 19-17 Steelers. And says, I hate predictions. So he kept it under 20 for the Chargers. So that goes hand in hand with his stat then.
Big Mabe and Duke said we're going to limit J.K. Dobbins to under 50 yards rushing also.
Okay.
All right.
I think that's going to be a tall task. Now, I think we can keep his yards per carry at a not so efficient rate.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Chargers are gonna stay trying to run the ball.
Yeah, they're usually gonna stick with it, man.
Because even when their offense wasn't looking that pretty against the Raiders, they stuck with running the ball, and their defense made some plays. And the Raiders did stupid stuff, and the Chargers would have a short field, and they took advantage of it.
You get that? I'm gonna get this real quick.
A few more predictions here before we hop on with Keanu. Pittsburgh Toddy 86. Got it 23-9 Steelers. Noah 23-17 Steelers.
Yeah, you good, man. Heck yeah. So I'm gonna do a quick intro real quick, and after that, we get you right on, all right?
Mags has it 28-21 Steelers. Fields goes off for 100 yards rushing. Luke Nessie 14-10. I'm assuming he's got the Steelers. X Concepts got TJ with 5 sacks.